In this video, we will recreate the Disney Plus front page along with fully functional login and user registration pages. It's no secret that massive companies like Disney spend millions of dollars on their marketing. In the highly competitive market of streaming services, it is important that they can convert as many people as possible into paying customers. With the power of SeedProd, you now have the ability to build beautiful websites without ever writing a single line of code. If you want to add incredible functionality, such as a user registration system, accept online payments, run surveys or newsletters, then you will definitely be interested in WPForms. In this video, I will walk you through using SeedProd and WPForms together to give you a small taste of the power these tools can provide. So I have a clean installation of WordPress. Let's go ahead and get SeedProd installed and WPForms. You can find the links for these in the description below. Let's go ahead and click on Get SeedProd, and you want to select the plan that makes the most sense for you. We want to use the theme builder. I'll be using the Pro version in this video. Next, once you have an account, let's log in and put your email address, password, and click Login on the left-hand side. Once you've logged in, let's click on the second tab from the left, Downloads, and we'll click the orange button here to download the plugin. We also need the license key here in the bottom left-hand corner. We can click the icon here to copy that. We can go ahead and close this window for now and come back to WordPress. On the left-hand side, let's go to Plugins and Add New and Upload Plugin. Let's go ahead and drag this zip file right here onto Choose File, or you can click Choose File and select this zip file from your hard drive. Let's go ahead and click Install now, and let's activate the plugin. SeedProd will ask you for your license key. You can paste that right here and verify key. If everything went well, you should see a green success message. Let's go ahead and head over to WPForms and we'll do the same thing. Set up an account with WPForms. I'll be using the Pro account, and let's go ahead and click on Login. On the left-hand side, enter your email address, password, and login. Again, let's click on the second tab from the left called Download, and let's download WPForms. We'll also need the license key here in the bottom left. Let's click here to copy that to clipboard, and we can close this window. Let's do the same thing by going to Plugins and Add New, and let's upload a plugin. Let's select WPForms and drop that here. Let's install now. Let's activate the plugin, and to use your license key, let's come over to WPForms on the left-hand side and go to Settings. Here it'll ask for your license key. Let's go ahead and paste that here. Click on Verify Key, and if everything went well, you should see a success message. Let's hit OK. I'm going to close this tab at the bottom. Great, so let's start by setting up our front page. Let's come over to SeedProd on the left-hand side and go under Theme Builder. The first thing we're going to do is create our front page. Let's add a new theme template. So we can build the website in two ways. We can use a pre-made theme that comes with SeedProd, or we can create every theme template by ourselves. I'm actually going to import the starter theme just so I can show you how to create this website by using a theme. Let's click the check mark here. And this will save us a bit of time by importing every single theme template. Now you'll notice there's a header and footer, sidebar, homepage, and some things that we probably won't use, so we can just simply delete those. Let's check out the front page, and you'll see it's exactly the same. And the reason for that is you need to enable the SeedProd theme here in the top right corner. Let's go ahead and do that, and you'll see a couple of messages here. And this is just telling you that it's creating your homepage and your blog page, and it's setting that in your settings down here. Now if we refresh the page, you should see the theme. You can see our header. We have our hero section up top, some different sections here, testimonials, FAQ, and a footer. So for the pages that we're creating, we actually don't need a universal header or a footer. We also don't need the blog or any other pages here besides the login and registration, which we'll create later. Let's come back to our theme templates here, and we don't need the single post because that's for blog posts. We don't need the index or archives or search. We'll keep the home page. We don't need the sidebar. We don't need the footer. We didn't actually need too much, but this did keep the layout for us that we can reuse here. Let's just refresh, and now we have a header here that we can use and some of the different sections, such as the FAQ as well. The first thing I want to do is come to our global CSS and edit the design. And this is where you can set all your different styles, such as your colors and your fonts and your background and all your buttons. So I'm going to come under the background tab here, and I'm going to set a solid color for the background. And it's going to be this dark blue color. That looks good. Now let's come back up to the top under colors. And for our headers, let's do F9, F9, F9. And we'll do the same for our text. For our buttons, we're going to go with a blue color. So right around here, maybe a little bit darker. And then for our links, we're going to use a dark kind of gray right here. And on hover, we're going to change this so that it's white. We can change that below under the font section. Okay, great. That's good for here. Let's come down to the font section. And here we can change our header font, so the font itself and the weight, along with our body text as well. I'm actually going to leave the fonts how they are right now and come down to the link typography. So here we have the dark gray. And then on hover, I'm going to select hover and change this to white. There, when you hover over, you can see that it brightens up. Okay, that's good for the fonts. Let's come down to buttons. And we already set a button color up here, but I think that might be a bit too dark. Let's change the button color here, and we'll brighten that up just a bit. Let's just copy this hex code right here and we'll bring it over to hover, and we'll paste that in here. And I'll just brighten this up a bit. So when you hover, you can see how that lights up just a bit. Great, everything else looks good to me. I'm just gonna save this, and we can close out. Now when we come back to our front page, we can see that some of the style has updated, and then we can just go through and manually change this. So I've already gone to the Disney Plus website and downloaded all of the images so that we can recreate it here. So under Homepage, I'm gonna click under Edit Design. Now here we can see all of the sections of our page. So let's start with the header. And the first thing is the background. So this section will have a background. Let's click on this. This is the purple section. And on the left-hand side, it'll have a background image. Let's use your own image. And you can upload any of the images right here into your media library. So there we go. I just uploaded that picture, and we'll select this. Now here on the background position, you can change the positioning of this. So maybe full screen cover. I think that looks pretty good. Now on the right-hand side, there's actually nothing. You can just see the background. So we're going to click on this image and just delete it. And then there's some text and buttons on the left-hand side, as well as a Disney logo. On the left-hand side, let's use the image block to position our logo. I'll put an image block right at the top here, select this, and use your own image. I'll go ahead and select the logo, and click Select. I'm going to align this to the left side. Underneath we have some text here. I'm just going to paste this text, and we're going to change this to maybe an H3. The font is too big. Maybe an H2. And we can actually resize this so we have more room on the left-hand side here. We don't want to go over too far though. I might actually change this to an H1. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. So I have a second one underneath, and I'm going to update the text. And I'm going to change this to maybe an H2, maybe even an H3. I think H3 makes more sense. And the A here is going to be a red color. So let's just change this to text color, and I'll pick a red. There we go. In this section, we have some pricing. So I'll just paste in the price here, $11.99 a month. And if we highlight these two pieces and we use the subscript, it'll make it a little bit smaller here. Great, there's another piece of text under here. So let's just select the text block and we'll start from scratch. And we put that in the wrong spot. So you can just grab the move block icon and I'll just drag it underneath here. Let's update this text. That looks good. And I think it's actually pretty small text. We'll put it around there. And then we'll just go to under advanced and color. And we'll just make this kind of a darker gray or a light gray, just so it doesn't stand out quite as much as the other text here. We can do the same thing with the month here as well. Come underneath here, select color, and we'll pick some type of gray here. Great, it looks like there's a spacer here. We can delete this, and we have our button. Let's click on the button to customize it. Here we'll say sign up now. And you'll notice that it's orange, and in the global CSS, we set it to blue. The reason for that is that it was overwritten here under advanced. So you can see that it's set a block color here. If we went to get a default button that wasn't already here and drag it in, you'll see that it'll adapt to the color that is in the global CSS. We could actually delete this one if you want, and then we could just use this one here. We'll say sign up now, and you can align this to the left. You can have it the full width here if you like. I kind of like that. I don't think I want to ruin this text going to another line, but I like the big button here. And then there is another little notice here underneath the button that we can put. So we'll update the text. That's the wrong one. Let's pick this one. That looks good. And I'll just actually put this down just a little bit more. Okay, great. Let's save this and we'll come back and refresh our page. Okay, that looks pretty good, but this is too far over to the right. We want it over here a little bit more. Let's go see what we can do about that. Let's go ahead and select the row. This is the blue section. And right now it's a fixed width. If we do a full screen, you can see that that gets moved over. Go ahead and save, and we can refresh. And that looks good, but now it's too far over, and our button is way too big. So first things first, let's switch this back, and just have it aligned to the left. We can actually go under Advanced, and we have some horizontal padding here, so if you want to, you can make it a little bit wider this way. Something like here, maybe 100. I think that looks pretty good. Now let's come back and select the row here. This is the blue section under Advanced, Spacing. And on the left-hand side and right, let's add some padding. So on the left, let's say maybe 100, and we'll put 100 on the right to even it out. Go ahead and save this and refresh the page. There we go. That looks really good. Now I think this should actually be a little bit more high. So we're going to add some height here by adding some spacing. We'll go under Advanced for this section. We'll come under Spacing, and on the top and bottom, let's maybe double this to 150, and we'll save this. Let's refresh. There you go. That looks good. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next section. Here we have some icons. We can actually get rid of this section. We're not going to use this. The section we want to have is just a simple 2 columns. Let's add a new section here and just 2 columns. Perfect. On the left-hand side, we have an image. We'll go ahead and look for the image block. Under standard, we'll drag that here and click on it and use our own image. I'm going to go ahead and upload another image. And there we go. And we'll select this. Great. Now there's some text on the right-hand side. We'll look for the headline. And then there's some text underneath that. I'm going to go ahead and update that text. Great. That looks good. Let's just select this row and we'll go with a full width and we'll come under advanced spacing. And we'll do the same thing on the left and right, but this time we'll add more padding. It's going to come in a little bit further. We'll say maybe 250 and 250. Now it looks pretty tight here, but if we look at a full screen here, we'll refresh and you can see that's over a little bit further. Maybe that's a little bit too much. Let's bring that down maybe 200. And that should be fine. Refresh. Great. Now let's align the text so the text is down here in the middle. So if we select again this row under content, come down to the bottom under vertical and select middle here. Great. Now we'll just select this text here, advanced, and we'll just maybe make this a little bit gray. We'll go with B4, B4, B4. Perfect. Underneath this, we have the exact same type of thing, but it's swapped. So the image is on the right-hand side and the text is on the left hand. So we'll just swap these over and then I'll update the text and the image. Great. Let's go ahead and select this image. There we go. We have the left and the right side done. Go ahead and save this and see what it looks like again. There we go. That looks good. I think maybe a little bit more spacing on the top and bottom of the sections would be a good idea. We'll select this first section, go under advanced spacing. On the top, we'll add maybe 100. Now that added it on every side and we don't want that. So let's delete that and uncheck this little icon. On the top, we want 100 and bottom we'll do 100. And we can do the same thing to this section as well. Yeah, that looks pretty good. There's a lot of space in between here because we have 100 and 100. So I'm just going to remove the 1 here. And we just have the 100 in between. All right, next we have a section where we're going to display a headline and then 9 thumbnails. So we'll have 3 columns. So 3, 3, and 3. So we can actually reuse this headline and this. We can actually use this headline and this text. I'm going to go ahead and update this header text right here. Paste this in here, as well as the text underneath as well. That looks good. This is a little too gray, so let me just change this so it's brighter. Just an off, maybe like the B4. That looks good. So this is good for the 3 different sections, but I'm just going to delete this and we'll start from scratch. There's a little spacer here as well. I don't think we need that. So let's come under and search for column. And we'll drop that right here. And we want 3 wide. So 1, 2, 3, click here. And then we'll just put an image in each one. I'll select the first one and I'm going to upload an image. And I'm going to continue on with the next 2. All right, let's just save this and check what it looks like on the main page. There we go. We just want these a little bit bigger. So we want it to come out to about even as this. I think we use 200 spacing. So let's select the row here and we'll do full width, full screen, but we'll come under advanced spacing, uncheck, and we'll do right and left. We'll do 200. Great. Now I'm going to duplicate this twice. Make sure you duplicate the blue part, not the block. And I'm just going to update all of these thumbnails. So there we go. That looks pretty good. So we have all the preview thumbnails with the header, little text, and then 9 thumbnails. So next we have a sign up button underneath here. We don't need this section. We can actually delete all of this. And we can get rid of some of this as well. These blocks that are in here, let's just get rid of these for now. We'll come back to this section though, because I do want to use the accordion block here. All right, so let's just add a new section here. And this will just be a single column. And this is where we'll put the button. We'll put that right in here. And we'll update the text. And we'll come back and add the links when we have the proper pages set up. Let's go under advanced. And we'll add some horizontal padding here. We'll do maybe 100. That looks good. And we'll just look for the spacing. And we'll add some padding to the top, say 100 and 100 to the bottom. Okay, we have a next section here that says available on your favorite devices. So let's go ahead and add a new section. And first we want a single column and then we want 4 columns underneath that. So the first one is just a headline. Go ahead and grab this, put it in, and we'll update that text. Great, let's come back and look for the column. And here we'll add 4 columns underneath here. There'll be a big icon, a headline, and then some text underneath that. Let's go ahead and add an image in here. We'll click here and add that. Use your own image, and I'll upload that. Great, next we have a headline underneath it. We'll place that right underneath, and we'll update this to say TV. And then there's some text underneath there. I'll go ahead and update the text. And let's go ahead and center this. We'll also make it a little bit more gray. So the B4, B4, B4. There, that looks perfect. Now I'm just going to do the same thing I did for these other 3 sections for computer, mobile and tablet, and game consoles. Okay, great. I added the 4 different sections, and I did the same thing with the spacing. So this is full screen with 200 padding on both sides. And let's just select this section and go under advanced spacing. And I'm going to add some padding on the bottom as well here. So let's do about 100. And let's save and check the front page. Perfect. I think that looks good. Okay, great. Next we have an FAQ section. First thing I want to do is change the background here. So this has a white background applied. Let's just clear that. And we'll have to change the color on the accordion so that we can see these. Let's come under advanced. And then we have the text color. Let's just change everything to F9, F9, F9. So the header, we want the F9. The text color for the answers, we actually want to put that just a little bit darker so we could do the B4. Just like that. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and update the background color here. So we'll use 13151D. You'll just see a light, kind of darker color here that's offset from the background. Now I'm just going to go ahead and edit the questions. So you can click on the first one, and here's the question and then the answer underneath it. There we go, and I'll just go ahead and do that for all of these. Great, that looks good. So we just want to get rid of this divider, so all we have to do is make it the same color as the background of our website. So right here for divider color, let's select this, and you can type in 040714. Okay, so last thing for this, let's select the block, and we'll come under topography, edit, and we'll change the line height here. You'll see that there's not enough padding around this area. We'll do that with the line height. You can see that that makes a bigger section. Let's go around 3. Okay, great. We just have a simple footer for the last section, so let's go ahead and add that. We'll just add 1 row here, and we'll just add a image for our logo. And we'll add a little bit of text right underneath that, and a second bunch of text. Perfect. So let's update the image. Now I'm just going to put a small logo. And underneath that, we just have some links. Great, so there's the links. We'll just go ahead and center those, and we'll just bring the font size down around, let's say 12 is good. And lastly, we just have the copyright notice here at the bottom. And this would probably be a good time to tell you that this is just for educational purposes only, so make sure that you take any of these layouts or designs and make it your own. So these are just videos meant to teach you how to figure out how to do certain techniques for web design and for web development in general. So make sure you make it your own, change your own graphics, and use all of your own colors, etc. All right, let's go ahead and we'll refresh the page and take a look. This should be finished. So we have our header. That looks nice. We have the section, another section, a preview of movies. We have a button here, the favorite devices, and we have a little FAQ section where you can add more questions, as many as you want, and our footer. Great, so let's just save this one more time, make sure it's done, and then let's exit out of here. And when you're creating a website like this, chances are you're going to have some type of members area. Now, this video is not going to show you how to do restricted content or how to protect your content in a members area. There are a lot of different tools to do that and plugins for WordPress, such as MemberPress and different content restriction plugins. What we will create, though, is a login page, a user registration page, and I'll show you how to do some redirects so it looks a little bit cleaner as well. Let's go ahead and get started here. We already have our single page template set up. We need this to be able to create custom pages. So now we can come under pages because we have this, and we can go pages and add new. So first, let's just pretend we have a members section. So I'll call this members, and we can publish this. Again, this isn't going to be restricted, but you would have some type of content restriction where it would only allow people who are logged in or who are subscribed to your website, or maybe only people that have an active membership with payments, for example. Let's go ahead and click on edit with SeedProd and click OK. And here we just have a clean page. I'll just put a little headline in here, and we'll just say members area. And that's it. This is where you would put all of your content if you're a streaming service, maybe your videos, etc. Let's just save this and close. Now we can just make sure that this is working by going to /members. And there you go. So what we'll do is after we log in, we'll redirect to the members area here. Let's go back and set up other pages for us. Let's go ahead and add new. And let's call this one login. And we can publish this. Let's come back. And this time we want to go to WPForms. And we do want to add a new form, but not yet. Let's go to add-ons instead. And WPForms has so much that you can do with it, but the add-ons give you a lot more power. So let's go ahead and search for user, and we want to use the user registration add-on. Let's go ahead and add this in. And this will give us the option to create custom user registration, password reset, and login forms. So that's fantastic. Let's come under add new, and let's just type in user. And at the bottom here, we have user login form, password reset form, and user registration. We'll just use these two today, but you could easily set up the reset if you like as well. So user login form, let's use this template. Here's a little form builder that you can use. So here's the first one, second one, remember me, and submit. So I'm going to click on the first one here to change the options. So here we have general, we have advanced, and smart logic. Under general, you can change the label here, and you could add a description as well if you like. Under advanced, I'm just going to change the field size to large so it goes the full width here. And then we can control that in SeedProd. You can go through the options here, and there's smart logic as well. If you want to learn anything, check out the WPForms YouTube channel as well as their documentation. And let's just do the same thing with password, advanced, and we'll do large size here. We also have the remember me, and we have the submit button here. So under submit, I'm just going to change this to continue. And under the processing text, let's just put please wait so that people know something is happening when they click the button. You also have some advanced options here as well. And there you go. Let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to click on embed. And there's some different options here, but I'm just going to use a short code so we can manually place this into a SeedProd page. I'm going to copy this, and we can close out of here. Let's come back to our pages, all pages, and we have the login page here. Let's go ahead and edit this. This time, let's go ahead and click on edit with SeedProd. I'm going to show a little warning. Let's click OK. And this is a very simple page. So we'll have one column here. And at the top, I want to show a Disney logo. Let's go ahead and look for that image. I'll drag that here and click and search for that image. Great. Next, I want to use a short code that we got from WPForms. So I'll type in short, and here we have the short code block. Here we can click the settings and paste that short code right in here. Next, I'm going to click this to show short code preview. And if you're having problems loading this, I found that if you just remove some of the text here a little bit, you can put it back or not. It'll eventually load here for you. Okay, great. So the next thing I want to do is just put a little headline above here telling people what this is exactly, unless they're confused. And we'll just update that text here. Great. Now let's just select the row here, and we'll bring all of this a little bit further in. We'll do a fixed width, but this time we'll bring it down to 400. And there we go. That looks perfectly fine to me. Let's go ahead and save this, and we'll close out. Great. Now we're already logged in, so if we go to the login page here, you'll see it shows this little message, hi, you're already logged in, and then you can click to log out. I didn't notice that this was on a new line. I'm just going to go back in quick and change this from an H1 to an H2, or maybe an H3. Let's go ahead and save that and refresh. That looks fine. Okay, so one thing I forgot to do, if we come back to WPForms, all forms, we can edit this form. And let's come under settings here. And we have these different options for general, notifications, confirmation, and user registration. If we come under confirmations, we have different options here. So after you log in, you can go to a URL, show a message, or show a page. I want to go to a URL, and this is where, if they successfully log in, we'll send them to the members. Perfect. Let's go ahead and save that. And now let's just test this. So we'll log out. And this is taking us to the WordPress page. I'm going to show you how to get rid of this so it goes back to your main page or the sign-in page. So for now, let's go back to the login. And here's what our login form looks like. I'm just going to put in my username and my password. And if everything was well, it should go to the members area. So there you go. Okay, so let's go back and do the exact same thing. This time, let's add a new page, but this one we'll call register. Let's publish this, and let's go ahead and create that form. So WPForms, add new. We'll call this register. I think I forgot to name my last form, but that's okay. We'll type in user, and we'll look for user registration form, use template. A message pops up, additional user registration options are available in the settings panel. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be interested in collecting payments when people register, or allowing people to create an account or register and then add payments into their members area. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to a WP Beginner article, and it's called How to Easily Accept Credit Card Payments on Your WordPress Site. And that should be very helpful to guide you through it because it's a little bit beyond the scope of this video today. So right here, you would do the same thing. I'm going to update this so everything's 100% width. So we come under advanced, full size, we'll go large. And then you can actually change all of these fields to different pieces of information that you want to collect, questions, whatever you want to put in here. So here, this short bio, if you want to have that, I'm going to delete it on this example. And we have the button here as well, so we could change that text. I'll change this to register. And then there's different notifications and confirmations. and user registration here. So different options for that. So when they sign up, what kind of user role do you want them to be? So this is where you could do some role control for restricted content, for example. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and save this and we'll get the embed code here. We're going to use the short code and copy this. Go ahead and just X out of here. We'll come back to our pages, all pages, and we're going to look for register. Go to edit and edit with SeedProd. Click OK. And we're just going to do the exact same thing that we did with the login page. So one row settings. Let's bring that width down to 400 and we'll enter a image, and we had a headline, and then we had our short code. Go ahead and get our short code in there first, as I have that pasted here. I'll just try to get this a preview. There we go. We can see our form there. Let's update the text, and I'll change it to an H3. And lastly, we'll just add our logo here. Great. What might actually be nice as well, let's just add another column here to the top, and it'll just be one column. Let's go ahead and put in a little bit of text here, and I'll just delete all of this, and we'll just call this login. And let's go ahead and link this to our login page. So I'll highlight this text, click insert link, and I'll just type that in here. Let's send this over to the right side. And I want that text to be a little bit smaller. Let's say about 13, maybe 14 is fine. And let's select the row that it's in. And we want to do full screen and maybe a little bit of spacing on the right side there. So let's do maybe 100, and we can do the left anyway, just so it's even. Perfect. So if people are already logged in and they don't want to register, they can just click the little link here. All right, let's go ahead and save this page and close out and come back to WordPress. And we can just look for the register page here. So there we go. They have a full registration where they can go through, set up their name, username, email, password, and register. They're already logged in. They have an account. They can click on login, and they can come over to this page. When they click logout, though, it brings you to this WordPress page, which doesn't look very good. So I'm going to show you a little plugin that you can get. Come over to plugins and add new. And in the top right, let's search for a plugin. And I'm going to use this one right here called WP Login and Logout Redirect. I tried this one here. It didn't work how I expected. So I'm going to just give this one a try. And let's activate this. Let's go to the settings for this little plugin. And here we have an option to redirect after they log in. We don't want to touch this because we already set this to go to the members area, but we also have the logout option as well. And what I want to have happen is have them go to the login page. So once you log out, you'll immediately come back to this page. You could send them wherever you want, but I'm going to send them back to the login. Let's go ahead and save. And then we just have one more thing to do. Let's come to SeedProd and Theme Builder. And we have our home page. Let's edit the design here. And I'm just going to update the links here. We have the sign up. This is going to go to the register. We come down the page. Let's see if there's anything else. There's another button here. And anything in the footer? No, but we could put a little login button here. I don't think we have one on the page. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll just add a little login. And we can delete that link. And we'll add a new link here. And we'll just go to the login page. Okay, let's go ahead and save, and let's test our whole website here. We'll exit out of here, and let's visit the website. So here's our front page. Everything looks great. We have all the different sections and buttons and FAQ section. Actually, I think we forgot a header here, but that's okay. You just have to duplicate this and add it. If we come to the top, we have the sign up. Let's go ahead and click here to the register. Here you have a register account. And then you can send an email confirmation, or you can set it to manually approve accounts if you don't want them to be able to automatically sign up. We have a login button here, so we can click on this to come into our login page. Once we click log out, we set up the redirect with that little plugin, which brings us back to the login page. So here we can just put in our username and password and click on continue. And then this will log us into our members area. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like the video and leave a comment. I like hearing from you. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more great videos that are coming up. And check out this video called Build a Netflix Landing Page Clone with WordPress, which I think you'll enjoy if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.